Good evening, everyone. I'm Kavindi Sayakara. I'm from BMS. My topic is identification of lactobacillus in cheddar cheese samples and the application in synthesis of silver nanoparticles from silver nitrate. So first of all, for the introduction, probiotics are living microorganisms. They provide good health for the consumers. So mainly probiotics are used in food industry. So probiotic food is a processed product with viable probiotics in a suitable matrix with sufficient concentration. So as examples of probiotic foods, so the dairy products like yogurt, cheese, curd, and dark chocolate and soy milk. And so in figure 1, it shows you the benefits of probiotics. And there are different types of probiotics. So figure 2 shows you the different types of probiotics. So as examples, lactobacillus, bifidobacterium, streptococcus are some of the examples for probiotics. Now we'll see how the lactobacillus act as a probiotic. So lactobacillus is a gram-positive, catalase-negative, non-spore-forming rod-shaped bacteria, and lactobacillus is the one of the main probiotic used in cheddar cheese production. So Tebbion et al. 2017 reported that lactobacillus produce antagonistic substances against pathogenic bacteria like E. coli, S. aureus. And also these research studies showed that lactobacillus exhibit antibacterial activity via different mechanisms. So as examples, production of lactic acid and acetic acid, production of bacteriocins like hydrogen peroxide and carbon dioxide, and they act as an epithelial barrier, and also they modulate the immune system. So you know, there are so many dairy products in Sri Lanka market. So why I have selected cheese? Because cheese is a good alternative for delivery of probiotics into the intestine. So there are some advantages. So like cheese has certain advantages as a carrier of probiotics, and they have high fat content and the texture of the cheese, and they create a buffer against high acidic environment in the GI tract, and also there is a dense matrix. And also some research studies have found the cheese, they have succeeded in maintaining the viability of these microorganisms, and also the probiotic cheese which is contain lactobacillus able to modulate the immunity of the consumers, and they cause for the lot of health benefits. So when we come to the significance of this project, so consumers are more prone to buy probiotic food products because due to their health benefits. And also there is a high demand for dairy products in Sri Lanka, dairy products, and also due to this high demand and consumption, it is very important to detect whether these dairy products are containing probiotic or not, as they mentioned. And also there is another part in this research study, nanotechnology. Nanotechnology is one of the key demanding technology in future as well as in present also. And biosynthesis of nanoparticles is very important due to their economic and eco-friendly benefits over chemical and physical methods. And research studies indicated biosynthesized nanoparticles using lactobacillus have high antibacterial effects. So that these antibacterial properties of nanoparticles can be applied in medical industry, pharmaceutical industry, and food industry, as well as many more other industries. So the general objective of this study is to identify lactobacillus in commercially available cheddar cheese samples and determine the antibacterial activity of synthesized silver nanoparticles. And there are specific objectives to culture the lactobacillus on MRS agar, to identify lactobacillus based on their morphological and biochemical assays, and to subculture the pure colonies in MRS broth, and to synthesize silver nanoparticles, and to analyze the synthesized nanoparticles under scanning electron microscope. Then we distinguish the antibacterial properties of synthesized nanoparticles and the isolated lactobacillus using well diffusion method, and data was analyzed by using SPSS software. So I labeled my samples from S1 to S5. So when we come to the methodology, so 5 cheddar cheese samples from 5 different brands were purchased from the local market. Then we culture these samples on MRS agar. Then we conducted 4 biochemical assays, gram staining, catalase test, endospore, and acid-fast staining. After identifying pure colonies, these pure colonies were subcultured in MRS broth, and after that, we synthesized silver nanoparticles using lactobacillus. Afterwards, we synthesized nanoparticles was quantified by spectrophotometer at a range of 330 nanometers to 610 nanometers. After that, the synthesized nanoparticles were analyzed under SEM analysis. Then antibacterial activity against S. aureus and E. coli was determined by well diffusion method. Then the inhibition zones were compared using SPSS software through one-way ANOVA. So this is my results and discussion. So figure 3 shows you the colony morphology of isolated bacteria culture samples. So all the colonies were creamy white color, small and large circular with entire margins. And figure 4 shows you the micro purple, revealing that presence of gram-positive bacteria. But sample 1, 2, 3 and 5 were rod-shaped bacilli. Sample 4 was clusters, cocci were observed. In the catalase test, sample 1, 2, 3, and 5 were observed as negative results. There were no bubble formation, but sample 4, air bubble formation was there. When it comes to the acid-fast staining, so the in gram-negative samples we taken for the further investigations. So in acid-fast staining, all 4 samples, sample 1, 2, 3, and 5 appeared in blue color, indicating acid-fast negative bacteria. And in endospore staining also, all 4 samples were reddish pink color, representing non-spore forming vegetative bacteria. And further confirmation of presence of lactobacillus was analyzed by scanning electron microscope. So sample 2 and 3, so these are the SEM images. So these results are consist with the findings of Kang et al. 2019. So when we come to the synthesis of nanoparticles, there are 3 main categories. First, we observe the color change. So color was changed from milky white color to dark brown, indicating the formation of nanoparticles. Then we observe the UV visible absorption spectrum using spectrophotometer. So we obtain a visible range of 410 to 440 nanometers. So that is also indicate the absorption peak range of silver nanoparticles. Then also further confirmation was done by using SEM. So scanning electron microscope images you can see here. So here we observed well dispersed spherical shaped nanoparticles with 50 to 100 nanometer in size. So these are my well diffusion plates to determine the antibacterial activity. So this is against E. coli, and this is against S. aureus. And here the statistical analysis values. So here the p-value is in figure 14. The p-value is less than 0.05, indicating a significant difference between cell-free suspension and silver nanoparticles against E. coli. And figure 15 shows you p-value less than 0.05. That is also indicating a significant difference between cell-free suspension and silver nanoparticles against Staphylococcus at 0.05, indicating a significant difference in the inhibition of cell-free suspension against S. aureus than E. coli. And last figure shows you the p-value less than 0.05, indicating a significant difference in the inhibition silver nanoparticles against E. coli than S. aureus. So when we come to the discussion, so the colony morphology, all the isolated colonies were small and large, round in shape, range from white, creamy color, white to creamy white colors with entire margin. So these results align with the Padmawat et al. 2018, which was conducted for the lactobacillus colony morphology isolated from the dairy products. And when we come to the gram staining and catalase test, gram-positive bacillus in purple long and short rods were observed for sample 1, 2, 3, and 5. And all these 4 samples were negative for catalase test, indicating lactobacillus as a catalase negative bacteria. So in previous research studies also, they have found that lactobacillus as a catalase negative bacteria. But sample 4, there was for the catalase test. When come to the acid-fast staining, so blue color acid-fast negative bacteria was observed for sample 1, 2, 3, and 5. So these results were tally with these research findings. And in the spore staining, we observed reddish pink, indicating non-spore forming bacteria. So Mulao et al. 2019 also have indicated the microscopic weave of lactobacillus without endospores. So when we come to the nanoparticles, synthesis of nanoparticles, first we observe the color change. So color was changed from white to brown after exposure to the sunlight for 24 hours. So these results was compatible with the results obtained by Sani and al. 2017. Then we got the absorption spectrum. So we got multiple peaks at different absorbance values. So for sample 2, 3, and 5, we got a peak at 430. And sample 1, we got a peak at 410. So all these values are equal with previous research studies. And also, Singh et al. 2017 have obtained an absorption spectrum of silver nanoparticles with a wide range of peaks, which lies between 400 to 500. So that is the range of silver nanoparticles. And further confirmation was done by the SEM analysis. So we observed spherical shape, well dispersed silver nanoparticles, and similar characteristics were obtained by FEMI 2019 from biosynthesized silver nanoparticles. So when we come to the antibacterial activity, so the cell-free suspension contains metabolites produced by lactobacillus, and some of these metabolites are responsible for the antibacterial effect. And also clear zones around silver nanoparticles and cell-free suspension, showing that the silver nanoparticles and cell-free suspension able to inhibit the growth of E. coli. But sample 1 and 5, there were no inhibition zones. According to table 1, AGNP, the silver nanoparticles showed higher inhibition zones against E. coli than cell-free suspension. And one-way ANOVA further confirmed significant difference. So figure 13 showed you clear zones around cell-free suspension and silver nanoparticles in S. aureus, showing that silver nanoparticles and lactobacillus metabolites contain antagonistic substances to inhibit the growth of S. aureus. And also, according to table 2, cell-free suspension indicated higher inhibition zones against S. aureus than silver nanoparticles for all 4 samples. So one-way ANOVA further confirmed the significant difference. So when we come to the silver nanoparticles showed a higher inhibitory effect on E. coli than S. aureus. So why? So this might be due to the structural variations in the cell wall, because the gram-negative bacteria contain thin charged lipopolysaccharide in their layer, which are more susceptible to attract with positive charge of silver nanoparticles. And also silver nanoparticles deteriorate the cell membrane, and they interfere the cellular functions, and they interact with the DNA, and they induce the oxidative stress. So cell-free suspension showed a higher inhibitory effect on S. aureus than E. coli. So this is due to the presence of lipohyaluronic acid in gram-positive bacteria, which can interfere with the bacteriocins produced by lactobacillus. So as a conclusion, we can say lactobacillus was identified in 4 cheddar cheese samples, and also this isolated lactobacillus and synthesized silver nanoparticles able to act against this pathogenic bacteria like E. coli and S. aureus. And also the antibacterial properties of silver nanoparticles can be effectively applied to treat multi-drug resistant pathogens. So in future, we can use this knowledge gained from this study to treat certain disease conditions caused by drug resistant pathogens instead of using antibiotics and other medications. So those are my references. And thank you.
Thank you, Kavindi. Thank you, Kavindi, for your nice presentation. So now this is time for open for the discussion and questions and answers. For the audience, is anybody willing to do this one?
Dr. Vijita?
No, ma'am. No.
Only 6. Okay. Thank you for the nice presentation, Kavindi. I think it is your undergraduate project. Yeah,
ma'am.
You can
So, ma'am, I extend my special gratitude to my supervisor, Ms. Punsisi Asara, and my dean, Dr. Mati Kandya, and the staff of the BMS. And I would like to express sincere gratitude to the staff of Gary to give me this great opportunity. Thank you, all of you, ma'am.
Yes. Thank you, Kavindi. So wish you all the best for your future research work. Yes, now we are going to conclude the sessions.
Yes.
Thank you everybody for participating for this conference. The other members, very nice presentations today we presented. Thank you for the conference organizers to give this opportunity for the young researchers to publish their results and their ideas for the audience. Thank you, everybody. Okay, good evening.
Dr. Vijitha?
Yeah, it's a nice experience for me also. So thank you for the organizing committee to invite me as a keynote speaker and as co-session chair for this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.